So with all the rabbit manure that we have, we get a lot of the red worms, the compost worm. You can see them right in there. There's a whole bunch of them right in the upper layer here, breaking down the manure into worm castings, and we get billions of the darn things. So just as an experiment last year, when it was chilly like this, I brought a bunch into the greenhouse in a tub, and you know, gave them their manure, but it held them in a spot that we could do things with them, where the stuff out there just gets thrown on the compost pile and tilled and worked in. But in this bin, I actually grew the worms and made the worm castings, and things are all contained, and there's worms. So I just cleaned it out and put it on some broccoli that we planted in the greenhouse here, in a spot that had soil that wasn't as good. Over there we hang the rabbit cages in the winter time, and so there's lots of manure. This soil was a little poorer, so I added this with the worms and the worm castings, and it should really help the soil. There's a study that was just out that was studying earthworms, which we know are beneficial to the soil and beneficial to plants. As they tunnel through, they give places for the roots to grow, and they break down the organic matter so that the nitrogen can be absorbed into the plants. But what they found in this study was that the worms actually produce nitrogen in the slime they use to move through the soil. So that nitrogen is actually readily available to the plants. In the tests that they did, where they were able to put some isotopes into the worms that would emit it into their slime, and then they tested insects that they had on the plant. So they'd pull the insects off and test them, and in the field within 24 hours those isotopes were in the bugs, and in the lab they did it in about 7 hours. That this is showing that the nitrogen that the worms produced is actually taken immediately into the plants and utilized and moved through the plant. So with the cost of fertilizer going up as it is, you know, put worms in and around your plants and feed those worms is going to be beneficial for your growth of your plants.